Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. I am joined with David Fairclough. We're just going to have a couple minutes chat about transfers, hopefully coming in, and what he expects, hopefully, where Liverpool are next season. All right, David.
Hi, Daz.
So we've already got McAllister in, which is, we got him in before the window cracked open. Heads are kind of seem like they're falling off already after, 6 days of the window opening, and we've got nobody else in. I'm sure you're a bit more level-headed than some.
Yeah, it's a difficult time of the year because, there's still an international game to be played, and so in that regard, the season hasn't finished. The under 21 international competition is just about to begin. So there are players still out there who are preoccupied with other things. So it's never easy to get transfer over the line anyway. But in these times, the way that contracts take a while to put together, and the busy schedule, I think you've got to accept that it won't be maybe as easy as Jurgen might have intimated initially, saying he wants it done all nice and early. There's always a little bit of an issue of some sort that delays this type of thing. But clearly, Liverpool needs strengthening, and the amount of players that we've been linked with and continually linked with other players, I think we've got to expect that Liverpool will sign other players, that's for sure. But we might just have to have a moment or two of patience before it's all sort of top and tailed, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I think people don't really understand, it takes a while for transfers, and Liverpool have probably already talked to their reps, and, all the other stuff is going on while these lads are, on international duty. So it's just having to wait for them to finish and then, come to Liverpool for the medical and sign on the dotted line. I just think this day and age, people just need to have patience, but there doesn't seem to be patience anymore. It's like people forget about the football, and they're more into transfers, like winning the transfer league, than they are, following the team. I'm just at a loss sometimes. How I could care less. I have every bit of faith in Jurgen to do the job. He said we're going to get players in. Jota, Canote, and Virgil have already said, we need reinforcements. They believe they're coming in. I believe that. What was your thought on? Obviously, we didn't get Jude, but we got McAllister. What's your thought on him?
Yeah, McAllister's a good sign, and great sign, and he showed his quality even before the World Cup, but really came to the fore in the part that he played in Argentina's World Cup win. Wasn't first choice at that point, but as that competition progressed, McAllister became, grew in profile, and clearly Liverpool must have had some sort of agreement or some conversations ongoing, because almost immediately the season ended. That was the one sign, and that could be confirmed. But everybody knows that Liverpool are going to strengthen. It seems a modern day thing that people want it, and they want it now. But you have to be realistic, as you perhaps partly mentioned. Contracts are a difficult thing to complete these days, because there's so many things get added to a contract. In the old days, it was just a case of basically the clubs agreeing a transfer value, and you agree in wages on with the team. But players ask for so much these days. Life's become a bit complicated in that way, and also a couple of weeks initially after the season finishes, players and managers, if you're not involved in international football, they go on holidays and the like. So it takes a little bit while to sort of for clubs to get back to a working practice. And as I say, got to be a little bit patient. The season's pre-season training is probably a month away. So as long as we get the bulk of the business done by then, I think Liverpool will be in good shape.
Do you think we can get back to challenging again?
Well, I think so. Of all the teams, perhaps, who could challenge Manchester City, for example, I think Liverpool are the one team, because everybody who comes to Liverpool has to play with the massive expectancy that we have at Anfield. And I think for that reason, I mean, and we all sort of make, we all make our predictions, but I wonder whether or not Newcastle will be able to sustain that type of standard and pressure and expectancy next year. Liverpool, I think, is a club we've lived with it for so long, and as I say, everybody who comes to Liverpool knows what is expected. So I fully expect Liverpool to be very much in the hunt, and if anyone's going to be fit enough to keep the pace with Manchester City, then I would say Liverpool are the one team that could do that.
Yeah, I'm the same with Newcastle. I think they overachieved this season with that squad. Obviously, they're gonna add to it, but then there was talk of like maybe Neymar, but I think he'll go to the Saudi league like some of these other people.
Can't quite see Neymar in a Newcastle wind. That East Coast. The East Coast, I don't think it's the biggest attraction to for every footballer.
No, exactly. But I just think, with them having Champions League as well, they've not had Champions League for years and years, so that's extra games for them. So I think it'll be tough for them. But yeah, I have every faith that we'll challenge again. I think Klopp will get the right players in. Maybe not the players that a lot of people want. Again, this isn't FIFA or Football Manager. This is real football, and Klopp wants these engines in the team, doesn't he?
Yeah, obviously, in the rebuild, it's been something that was missing from Liverpool's play last year. That intensity, the closing down, and something that probably we hadn't replaced once Wijnaldum left. But we want young, hungry, athletic players, and we're being linked with that type of player. It'd be interesting if we get the ones that we're linked to. They got some outstanding names on the wish list. Let's hope, as we say, that can be confirmed in the next few weeks.
And what the big question I want to ask you, the Trent question: midfield or keep the hybrid role?
I'm a bit sort of. I'm thinking it's not reinventing the wheel. I don't think in playing in a sort of a higher position, further up the field. The main thing is, when you don't have the ball, you all defend, and when you have the ball, you should all attack. Now, whether or not that sort of leaves us vulnerable sometimes, if he sort of spends too much time in sort of in a midfield line, remains to be seen. I think if Liverpool play with a back three, it puts a big strain on the right-sided centre back, and I think we'll see plenty of teams target that type of area if Alexander-Arnold persists in playing this sort of the role that he's currently in.
So do you think we need to bring in a right back though?
Well, I'm a little bit of a old school. I'm not sure about playing with a back three. I think you play as a back four or a back five. Now, where he's playing at the moment, for me, doesn't allow him as much of an opportunity to get back and make the back line of five. So I tend to think that maybe. I mean, we look. I mean, who knows? The young lad from Rangers who only had one start looked to have all the attributes. So only time will tell whether or not what Jurgen decides to open up the season with. But I think certainly a right-sided defender, another right-sided defender, might actually appear on the shopping list.
Yeah, I agree as well. Well, I mean, you've still got Conor Bradley as well, and Gomez that can slot in there as well. Last but not least, what's your thoughts on Henderson? Is he going to be playing more of the Milner role this season, do you think?
I think so. I think he'll be kept in as the as the statesman and the example to the younger players. Unfortunately, age does catch up with players, and for Hendo, perhaps he's not quite able to fulfil the role that he was playing in 2 or 3 years ago. But it comes to everybody, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. He'll play probably a bit more minutes off the bench, but I still think he'll keep the armband.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that position as club captain, and so he's a valued member of the dressing room, and if he's happy to fulfil that role and to play more as a bit part player rather than a first starter, then that's not a bad position to be in. To be at Liverpool and even just be in the squad will be an exciting time next year, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Thank you so much, David, for coming back on and having a quick chat with me. Again, please like and subscribe. Check out our Childhood Heroes series. That's coming out every Sunday, our story pods. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.